Good morning, all you fine folks out in YouTube land. This is early morning. Sun hasn't been long up. We had a storm come through Thursday night that actually brought us some cooler weather, which I am very thankful of. This is those beans I planted only, 2, 3 weeks ago, max. Now that storm kind of tore them up. They were all blown over, but they're perking back up. I see a few broken leaves, but they'll survive. Harvested all the onions, and no, I didn't get any monsters, but I got some quite, big enough to use. They're all big enough to use, but I got some nice, softball sized ones. But the majority of them was just an average size onion. And you don't want to leave your beds naked like this. Those potatoes that volunteered in here, I'm going to leave, and I've got some melons planted. Well, I can't remember if this was melon in this bed I planted or winter squash. I'll know when they come up and make their first set of true leaves. I do have some melons planted in this bed, and still got some elephant garlic here that's young. I harvested all the big elephant garlic and got some nice bulbs and laid them out so the sun would hit them today and they'd dry out some. Flowers are coming along beautifully. Still got some of those evergreen shallots over there. And that volunteer tomato, which is a Florida Everglade. Florida Everglades tomatoes that make these little tiny tomatoes. It's hardly worth growing, I can tell you. But since it volunteered, I thought I'd give it a chance. The tomatoes are all blooming, and even a couple of them have small tomatoes on them. And I got some peppers here in front, and if you're wondering what that white stuff is on that pepper, I dumped some calcium. It's just plain calcium. It's called gypsum in here yesterday, and instead of it being like a granular, it was a fine powder. Because blossom end rot comes from lack of calcium in the soil, or the plant's ability to uptake calcium. And I just wanted to make sure they had enough calcium in the soil that if they need it, they got access to it. See, I already got some tiny little tomatoes right there. I don't know, it's so small. I don't know if you can see it. But yeah, they're just blooming like crazy. Now this is the determinant. And got cucumbers climbing this vine right here. Or climbing my Hortonova trellis. I pulled out quite a few of those cucumbers because I knew that if all those cucumbers climbed this trellis and put on cukes, it would pull this trellis down. It would sag terribly. Now, these tomatoes are doing good, but they're a little bit behind those over there. Maybe because they have just started getting sun in the middle of the day. And here's my indeterminates. That's my makeshift trellis there. It's working pretty good. See, some of those are blooming. I haven't seen any tomatoes on them yet, but they are blooming. And I'm hoping this trellis system's going to work. But we'll just have to wait and see. And haven't pulled any of the garlic up, but it's not looking good, and I'm not expecting much, I'll tell you. And this will probably be I missed this elephant garlic here. Look, I put calcium on those onions over there as well. Because I'm of the understanding, after some research, that onions store longer if they had plenty of calcium while they were growing. Well, I was a little bit late on that, but it's going to be at least a week or two before I harvest these. I actually need to water that calcium in, but we got a huge rain the night of the storm. And I also harvested some of the bigger leeks that I've yet got. They're still in my sink that I've yet got to wash and cut up and put in the freezer. We love leek and potato soup. You never want to leave your beds naked. So I got, even though you don't see it, but I got something planted in all of these. And that bug's eating up these. I'm going to leave that as a trap crop. I'd rather them consume it than something else I've got planted in here, which they will probably eat too. I'm thinking that's probably slugs, because I had all these old cabbage leaves in here and plenty of places for them to hide, and I saw some slugs yesterday when I was moving some plants around. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's slugs. I thought leaving these bunching onions in here would keep the slugs out, but obviously they don't mind onions or leeks. Got too much growing in this bed right here together, but they're none of them struggling. All of them seem to be getting exactly what they need, and I need to put another tile on that tomato and a stronger thing, that bamboo stick. I'm thinking I know I've got more T-posts, but they're all too tall for this bed. But I'll come up with something. I usually manage to monkey rig it so it stays upright. That's the redneck way of doing things. And I'm going to leave these leeks here and let them grow just as big as they want to until I need these bags for something else. Then they'll be harvested. And all this here in this little thing is flowers that I need to actually separate out and put somewhere. And I got melons planted in that bed, and pretty much what you see in this bed is what's going to be in it. The basil, the peppers, I believe this is zinnias. I didn't keep a record of what I put in here, so I think that's zinnias, but I'm not sure. Looks like zinnias, don't it? And I harvested these bags of potatoes here, the Yukon Golds. We got some beautiful potatoes out of those bags. So if anybody ever tells you you can't grow food in a bucket or a bag, they haven't tried. And with potatoes, you don't need a lot of nitrogen. You need a little bit to make their tops nice and green and healthy. But the best thing you can give them is phosphorus and potassium. And they'll make some beautiful potatoes in these bags and in these buckets. And I've got something eating these leaves, but I'll have to come out at night probably and find out what it is, because you don't find it in the daytime. But they're nearing the end of their life cycle anyway, so I'm probably not going to worry too much about trying to spray them with anything. I would use some kind of organic spray, but like I said, they're getting very close to their end date. If you look at that one over there in that tote, you can see the bottom leaves, and even these here, which are, a lot of the leaves are being covered up, or the bottom leaves are starting to turn yellow, which if I go back and look in my calendar and know when I planted them, I'll know if, pretty much if they're ready to take out. Some of them are looking kind of iffy. I also gave my strawberries some calcium yesterday, which these strawberries are about to be moved today. I've got a green stalk for Mother's Day, and I'm going to plant these out now. I watered the calcium in on the tomatoes, and I didn't on the peppers, those hot peppers over there. Of course, I've never had any blossom end rot on my peppers. Actually, I don't think I had any last year on my tomatoes. But better safe than sorry. And on these long skinny beds, I've got my son loves cantaloupe, so I got him some cantaloupe planted in these. And that one and this one, I believe, if I'm not wrong on that. And I still got flowers there. It's got to go somewhere in those solo cups. But I'll get them. I'll put them somewhere. I love flowers in the garden, don't y'all? And I got a couple of them blooming over here that are just so pretty. Or to me, they are. See that bloom? That blossom? And anywhere I can find to stick one, I will. I'm going to cut this off here. It's not going to be a long video. Hope y'all having a blessed and wonderful weekend.